Hi guys, it's Ian at Global Air Supplies. I'm up at the polytunnel as you can see, and I've been setting up every single IWS system we sell. We've got some brand new models out this year, and we've got some older models which have been sold for the last 20 years. So I'm going to take you through every single system. I'm going to show you the benefits of each one so you can decide what works for you. So come on, let's have a look. So this is the IWS standard system. As you can see, it has 16mm pipe, it has the 16mm fittings and glands, and the timer is actually bolted onto the brain rather than on a remote code. So I'll tell you a little bit about the upgrades we've done. So we've upgraded the pipe from a standard 16mm flexi pipe to a braided pipe. This braided pipe is obviously 16mm, but it's got a braid inside so it stops it kinking as easy. I'd suggest you get some of these backhoe pipe cutters. All you do, put it through, clip it, done. You get a really, really clean edge when you're cutting it, and again, it's really good and it doesn't kink. On the standard system, they all come with glands and these straight fittings. So if you look at the fitting, it's a 16mm fitting here, no barbs on there at all. That's so it can easily slide through the gland, which is attached to the pot. That slides in, you turn the nut, that seals on the non-barbed piece, and then you pipe up the system as you would normally. This is a 12-pot system. I would suggest always trying to use all 6 lanes. As you see, I've got it piped up in here. Down there, you're running 2 lanes. The next lane is 2, and so on. If you want to expand this system to a 24, 36, 48, etc., all you need to do is buy the add-on kit and keep extending in numbers of 6, and you just keep following this kind of program. Works really, really well, helps it flood and drain so much easier. You've got 3 choices of pots. The standard IWS system comes with the punch pot. This is a standard 10-litre pot. It's punched in the bottom and it allows the water to seep in and out really, really easily. I would always use a medium here which has like a cocoa in there, so a 60-40 mix is absolutely perfect for this mix. Then you have the 2 other pots. So you have the aqua pot, and this is basically completely mesh on either side. It's about a 6.5 litre pot. You would only ever fill this with pebbles, because what you want is your water to go in and out quite rapidly throughout a 24-hour period. That allows the roots to come out of there really quickly. I would never really use a media in this. And then you have a culture pot. It's basically the same size as an aqua pot, but it's a solid side and a bottom mesh. So that means you put pebbles in the bottom, and then you'll put a growing media in top. Smaller amount of media, and it's a lot easier just to sit in there and work. Quick recap on the IWS standard. What comes with this system is the standard brain with a grassling timer bolted onto the side. Comes with 16mm pipe and 16mm fittings and glands. It comes with the outer 10-litre pot and the 10-litre punch pot. And it comes in numbers of 6, 12, 18, 24, all the way up to 48. It's a great system for the beginners, but also professional growers love the 16mm pipe. Really, really easy to work with. So why would you buy an IWS standard? This basically is a standard system. In my opinion, it's really, really good value for money. And if I was using the system, I would be lifting these pots on Kingspan or something just to lift them a little bit to get the water to flow back to the brain better. You don't want your plant sat in water if you can help it, but all you need to do is lift the pot slightly and it will feed back down there. I would only use a standard system probably up to about a 24 pot, because anything over a 24 pot, the 16mm will restrict the flow and the drain, and that will make it flood and drain a lot slower. It's a great system to start with. It's got everything you need to get an absolutely brilliant grow. So that's it from a standard IWS system. I'm now going to take you to visit the standard remote system, and I'm going to go through it in a little bit more detail. So this is the standard IWS remote. Very similar to the standard system, it's just got a few upgrades on it that I'd like to show you. So a system comes complete with a remote timer. So as I talked about in the standard unit, you only get the grassling timer bolted onto the brain. Why I've upgraded it with a remote is so that the unit is not sat on the brain, it's away from the brain, and you haven't got to get into your plants every single time you want to check your timer. This also has a minute timer on the right hand side. So what you do, you set your timer on the front to initiate a feed, and then the right hand side tells you how long you want to feed for. It's great for smaller systems, so if you're on a 6-pot system, let's say, you could turn it right down. Or if you're on a bigger system and you don't want to feed for a full half hour, which is 2 15-minute segments, you can set that wherever you want it to be. So it's a great addition to the system, in my opinion. It's got a 16mm new braided pipe, the same as the standard, and it's also got the glands and the specially designed IWS T's and elbows. It comes with the punch pot, but inside these you get the copper mesh. This allows the roots to basically sit inside the pot without coming out of the bottom, saving any root matter going down the lines and potentially blocking up. If you do get that, a bit of a top tip is literally twist the pot round, and that will loop the roots out of the pipe and back into the pot. As you can see, in the standard system, I told you that the pots need to be lifted a little bit. This comes with stands which lift it where it needs to be, creates that fall in the pot so there's no water sat there, and drains all the way back to the brain. So it's a great system. Just to go that little bit higher than a standard system, you get the remote timer, you get the copper mats, and you'll also get the stands. So why should you buy the IWS standard remote system? In my opinion, it comes with all the bits that make it that little bit better than a standard. Again, you get the remote timer with the minute segments on the right hand side, so it can really fine tune the grow. It comes with the braid of a pipe, and it comes with the stands, so you don't need to put anything on the standard pot. You've already got the stands with the correct angle on the pot. And it also comes with the copper discs, which stop the roots going through the pot and potentially down the lines. It's a great system, in my opinion. I wouldn't go over 24 pots, same as the standard, because you're still using 16mm pipe, but it's a fantastic IWS system. So that's it for the IWS standard remote. And now I'm going to go on to show you the IWS Pro. So this is the Flood and Drain Pro remote, and I'll go through what makes a Pro remote special. As the standard remote has the remote timer, the Pro has exactly the same timer. It's got the minutes on the right, it's got the grassling on the front. Set the timer, and we check how long you want it to flood for is set on the right hand dial. But the things what really set this system apart is the size of the pipe and the size of the fittings and the pump in the brain. So the fittings are 25mm, and they have the tooled washers and the nut, so that slides through the outer pot. You screw the nut and the tool washers, and that seals on the pot. As you can see, it's a lot bigger than the 16mm. We've upgraded the pipe to braided 23mm pipe, so the 23mm pipe now fits to 25mm fins. I know that's a bit weird, but it's the OD and the ID of a pipe, and this is 23mm. It's quite stiff. Always try and warm it up before you use it. When you're cutting the pipe, use the pipe cutters, push it into it, spin it round and cut. Makes a really, really nice clean cut. Put that in your warm water, force that onto your fittings as far as you can possibly go, and that will make a really, really tight seal. Inside the brain bucket, there's a big 3,000 litre pump. That pumps all the water from the system. When it gets to the brain, it pumps it back really, really quick. And you've got these big fittings on the side to allow that water to drain really, really quick. You want it to drain quick because generally on a Pro system, you'll be using a Pro system on a lot bigger size, so 24 plus. A lot of people love a Pro system for smaller sizes just because they like the big pipe and the way that it gets the water in and out really, really quickly. Why would you choose an IWS Pro remote? I think it's because you've got the 25mm fittings, the 23mm pipe, which gets the water and nutrient in and out of the system really, really quick. The system comes ready to go, It comes with the remote timer, really, really easy to fine tune how long you want it to feed for. It comes with the punch pots and the copper mat. Comes with the stands and the 25mm fittings. Everything's ready to go. All you need to do is grab a medium in and turn it on, and you're up and running in next to no time. This is a brand new addition to the IWS range. It's the IWS Trident Pot. It's an absolutely fantastic system, and I want to show you a little bit about it. So what's different? Basically, the pot. As you can see straight away, the pot is slightly bigger. This is a 16-litre pot. We are making the 25-litre, and it will be available really soon. If you look at the pot, it has a built-in stand. So instead of the standard systems of a Pro remote, where it has a separate stand, this is a stand built into the pot. Also, you'll notice we feed from the bottom of the pot. In my opinion, it supercharges the way the water comes in and floods from the inside. If you look inside, you'll see the root rods. What the root rods do is allow the roots something to grab hold of. As the roots come through the inner pot, they grab the root rods and they get something to grab hold of. It stops them going down the line. So it's a really great feature of this pot. So the Trident pot uses a cloth inner pot. Rather than the punched or the aqua or the culture pot, this is a brand new pot and we use a brand new cloth pot. It's a 16-litre cloth pot with the handles in. Really robust, got a flat bottom so it sits on the root rods properly. Drop that in, drop a growing medium in, and you're up and running. When you're finished, just lift them out. You can be pre-vegged on, and you can just drop new plants straight back in, and you're up and running. The system uses slightly different fittings from the Pro fittings. You'll see they're very similar to the IWS Standard. Got a smoother edge with the barb. These are so that the pipe clings onto there. You use the same pipe as a Pro pipe. It's a 23mm Pro pipe. And they fit directly into the bottom of this grommet. You just basically get this, put a bit of lube around the edge, twist it round, line it up where it wants to be, turn it round, pipe it up, and I would pipe it up exactly the same as any IWS system. Use all the 6 lanes, and if you're using a 6-pot, just drop 6 pots on there. If you're using a 12, drop another pot in using the elbow. And if you want to expand it, just use T's all the way along and as big as you can go, up to about a 48-pot system. Why should you buy an IWS Trident from IWS? If you want a bigger pot. The standard systems come with a 10-litre punch pot. These are 16-litre pots, and obviously there's a 25-litre coming shortly. The feed from the bottom, really, really easy to pipe up. There's no tools needed. You just put the pipe in, put it back in, and you're back up and running. Comes with a cloth pot, so your roots come out of a cloth pot, wrap around the root rods and stop the roots going down the lines. It's just a great addition to the IWS range, in my opinion. So that's it for the IWS Trident. An absolutely fantastic pot, a great addition to the range. So this is a brand new IWS Pro Auto Drain. We saw the auto drains before at Nutriculture, and we've revamped it and brought, in my opinion, a better product. What you've got on the Pro is the big heavy-duty tray. This will take up to a 45-litre plastic pot. Obviously you can put smaller pots on there, but it will take up to the 45-litre version. You put the Pro fittings in, so you've got a hole in the front, connect the fitting through, put the nut on the back, and you've got the run to waste tray. How it works, the water is fed through the pots by hand. It runs through the tray, through the grooves, through the fittings, back to the brain. There's a big 3,000-litre pump in the brain, and that will then pump it to waste. It's a great system when you're looking to hand feed, but you don't want your pots sat in water. My suggestion is you always run with about a 20% runoff. So when you feed through a pot, if you're putting a couple of litres through, you always want 20% to run back here. It's a great system. We use the IWS 23mm braided Pro pipe. We use the 25mm Pro fittings, and then we have the auto drain stand, draining back to the auto drain pot, which then allows you to pump it wherever you want. You can recirculate it. I would never recirculate something like this, but you can pump it to waste, or you can pump it into a collection tank where you can test your pH and your EC to see what's going off in your pots. Why would you buy an IWS Auto Drain Pro? For me, it's fine-tuning hand watering. Hand watering is great if you've got a lot of time on your hands and you want to basically treat every plant individually. But what happens if you're into a tray or into a saucer, all the water runs through the pot, sits in the tray, and you've got no idea what's going off in there. If you want to flush it, what can you do? You flush through the pot, it sits in the saucer, so everything you flush through is sat in the saucer, and unless you've got the time to go and empty it and bring it back, it's absolutely pointless doing that. What the auto drain does, it allows you to flush the plants. It allows you to collect the waste so you can check your pH and your EC so you know what's going off in your pots. It stops your pots being sat in water, so when you feed them, all the water runs through the pot, through the tray, back to the brain, and you decide where it grows. These are the big Pro trays, really robust, and again, they're tilted so the water runs away, and they're also grooved, so any water what comes out from the side of a pot runs down the grooves and away through this big pipe. I'd choose the Pro if I were using big pots, because the amount of water you're going to be put through here will need a lot of runoff. So that's why I would choose an IWS Auto Drain Pro, big pots, big plants. This is the new IWS Standard Auto Drain. As with all standard systems, it has a 16mm pipe, user glands, and the 16mm IWS fittings. What you've got here is a smaller stand than the Pro, so you can get up to about a 20-litre pot on here. And with the standard systems, you use the gland and the fitting to connect the pipe to it. You connect the gland through here with the nut of a back, put the T-piece in or the elbow, and just connect the 16mm pipe. Like I said, it'll take up to about a 20-litre plastic pot, but cloth pots are all different sizes, so make sure if you're using cloth pots, it fits on the stand. So on the standard auto drain, we use a smaller pump. You're only running 16mm pipe, so you're not going to get as much water running back to the brain, so you don't need the big heavy-duty pump. When you're hand watering, I would always suggest a 20% runoff. So that means if you're putting a litre in per pot, you want a 200ml runoff. You can check that 200ml runoff for pH and EC, and that will give you an indication what's happening in the pot. It's a great hand watering system. It fine-tunes, in my opinion, hand watering. A lot of people are hand watering now, they're flushing through the pot and it sits in big trays. There's nowhere for that water to go. It goes back inside the pot, back into the plant, and it depends what the plant needs. If it needs more water, it'll take the water out, leaving the salts behind. If it doesn't need the water and it wants nutrient and the salt gets took out of the soil, you're leaving the water in. So it's basically fine-tuning hand watering. Why would I buy a standard auto drain? If you're using pots under 20 litres, pick this system. It's really easy to work with. You're using 16mm pipe, which is really easy to work with the fittings and the glands. You have a smaller pump in the brain. It's a great value system, and it will supercharge your hand watering. Not leaving pots sat in water, checking your EC, checking your pH, being able to flush and having a 20% runoff is absolutely perfect for hand watering. So that's the IWS Auto Drain Standard for you. I'm now going to move on and show you some more systems. So this is the IWS dripper. IWS has been selling drippers for years, but we've updated it. We've used the auto drain stands because they're a good, reliable stand. And we've used the Pro pipe and the Pro fitting so you get the robustness of an IWS. But what we've done, we've added a dripper system to it. So you can buy it as a complete kit, makes it really, really easy. We've done all the hard work for you. How the flood is delivered to the pot is along the 23mm pipe, and it hits this reducer here, which reduces it down to the dripper. Water is pumped down here through this dripper fitting, comes up the pipes into these 4 litre per hour drippers. The great thing about these drippers is they're compensated at the end. It means it will only allow 4 litres per hour through this dripper. We've had to choose the pump really carefully so that we know what's happening here. The more pressure you pump onto the dripper, the better it works. So don't use a low pressure pump on this system. It's got to be a really high pressure pump. If you don't want to use the pressure compensated and you just want a free flow, the kit comes with the blue flood drippers. You put the blue flood dripper in there and it will just literally free flow for whatever pressure you put into the system. So again, you get the tank, you put the pump in the tank, run it through a dripper system, put this into your soil, and these will each deliver 4 litres per hour. They're a great little dripper. The IWS Pro dripper system uses the big auto drain stands, uses the big pipe and the Pro fittings, and then delivers the water through the 23mm pipe through the dripper system. What we use is a 6,000 litre newer pump. We've tested all the pumps you can imagine to get this system to deliver the right amount of pressure for up to 96 drippers. So a 48 pot dripper system using 2 drippers per pot works absolutely perfect with the 6,000 litre per hour newer pump. The kit comes with everything you need for the system. It comes with the filters and all the pipe work to connect to the tank, and literally you are up and running with a professional IWS dripper system. The drippers have been chosen, like I said, because to deliver 4 litres per hour per dripper, and the pressure compensated at that end rather than this end. It's an absolutely perfect system. You get massive results with a dripper system, and we've just made it really easy for you guys to pick what dripper system you want. Again, this is the IWS Pro dripper using the big pipe. Why would I choose an IWS Pro dripper system over any other dripper system on the market? It's because we've done the hard work for you. We've been working on this for over 12 months to get it absolutely perfect. We've gone through every single dripper you can imagine, and we've gone through every single pump till we got the synergy right. Again, we use an Italian newer 6,000 litre pump. This is not a Chinese pump, this is a newer pump. We use a 4 litre per hour pressure compensated drippers, so you know how much you're feeding at any one time, because you can time the amount of nutrient your system gets by using a dripper timer. We sell dripper timers, it's up to you which one you choose, but G.A.S sells a full range of dripper timers to add onto this system so you can fine tune it really well. The IWS standard dripper system is a great little system. It's perfect for smaller growers up to about 24 pots because we use a smaller drain back. We use a 16mm pipe to drain back the 60mm fittings. We use the smaller stands and the smaller pots, so up to 20 litres will sit on these stands. But we use the same high pressure dripper system because the drippers are pressure compensated on the ends. So these need a certain amount of pressure to work. The lower the pressure, the less they work. They actually give you more water the less pressure you give. So putting the right amount of pressure is key to get this dripper system to work absolutely perfect. We use the same pump. We use the big newer 6,000 litre pump, which will deliver the right amount of pressure for up to 96 drippers. So a 48 pot system running on this pump is absolutely perfect. Again, we use 16mm pipe, 16mm fittings, and in the run to waste brain, we use a MaxiJet 1000. Because we're giving it less water, we don't need the big pump like the Pro. The 16mm MaxiJet pump is fine for a smaller system. Why would I buy the standard IWS dripper? I'd buy a standard IWS dripper if I were running a small amount of pots. 12 to 24 on the standard system is absolutely perfect, and it's a great way to deliver nutrient to a smaller pot, but you know exactly how much you're delivering. Each dripper will deliver 4 litres per hour. So if there's 2 drippers per pot, you know if you run this for an hour, you'll be getting almost 8 litres into the pot, which is far too much, as you know. That's why you'll need a minute timer. G.A.S. do a range of minute timers to suit your needs, so make sure you pick the right one what suits you. So that is the IWS standard dripper system. So that's it, guys. Thanks for listening. I've took you through every single IWS system we sell. We've got the hand watering system, which I've explained in detail, all the way to the brand new flood and drain Trident. I can't wait to see what results you guys are getting from the Trident. If you want any more information, jump on my G.A.S website or just give us a call. Cheers, guys.